Hey guys, today I'm here to answer a very specific question I've been asked by a lot of people, and that's who do I go for? Dalia or Anora? And it's a really complicated question, so I'm gonna have to kind of deep dive into this. I'll try not to waste any of your guys' time, so it should only be like 10 minutes or so, but I will have answer depending on your guys' accounts, of course, and some hot takes in here because I think that some people are kind of over and under hyping certain characters here. So definitely wait to kind of hear my reasoning. First of all, though, I'm just going to quickly go into the kits. And when I say quickly, I mean very quickly. I'm just going to skim through it and summarize. If you want to pause and look on your own, then feel free. I don't have access to a test server, which I've said multiple times, which kind of limits me in this type of content sphere. I know a lot of people who have them are like kicking out content like crazy. I can't do that. I don't have access, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just bear with me here. It's going to be a bit more scuffed than usual. And I'll also have a not really confirmed Yimit date, but I do have a speculative answer there. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm just going to summarize very quickly. This is Anora. This is like a couple weeks old because I think I was the first person to talk about her. She is esotericist cultist, not North cultist. We thought it was, apparently not. Dragon Girl is actually Anora, and Fatal Attraction essentially turns sorry, not her alt. It turns her summon Labor into Labor Ice. This is her bond skill with Yimit, sorry, and she essentially summons her own Yimit. So Anora is very, very strong. She's very, very good. She essentially summons a unit which has all of her stats, and they both attack together. She does a lot of damage. She's primarily AoE, does, mostly AoE magic damage, part of the Curse Cult and Esotericist. She does a lot of summons, and she buffs from when there's other summons on the field. So she's going to be really good with Init. She's going to be really good with Navras when he gets his changes because he's getting summons in his kit. She's going to be decent with like um I don't know if the Wailing Skulls count, but if it does, then that's gonna be good. I don't know if it counts for like she'll probably be good with Cyrus or basically any good summon character, and we're gonna get more of those progressively, so she will get more viable over time. And it being free definitely does help. And she also has really good kit synergy with like Yimmerit, as I said before. And we have the Awakening Seer if you want to pause. So essentially she's a primarily summon hero that does a lot of damage, and that's how she operates. So let me just quickly go over Dalia now. But before that, I realized I forgot to talk about Yimmerit. So the Yimmerit date that I'm predicting is about the 27th. So that's gonna be with the Valderon and Yimmerit, and it's gonna be really good banner. That's gonna be Ancient exclusive, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Yimmerit's Ancient exclusive. I think he will be both on Ancients and on normal summons, most likely is my guess. I cannot guarantee it. Probably similar to Ajax. I don't know if he'll reset Lord Pity or not. Who knows? But he's gonna be good. He should be around when Anora, aka Dragon Girl, comes out, which is the 27th. So that's kind of the rough timeline. Is like maybe a week or so around then. It's probably gonna be when he's out. But now let's go over Dalia. This is where I have the Dalia kit put down. I know it's a bit scuffed, but bear with me here. This is Dalia's skills. So to summarize Dalia, this is like almost a month and a half old, which is crazy that it's been so long since we heard about Dalia. But essentially, the way that this works is she puts down blossoms, which detonate and do a lot of damage. She has her own normal attacks. She buffs allies, gives extra block, I'm pretty sure, as you can see here. It's obviously random because it's not like guaranteed, but it's still very, very strong. She's just very, very strong. You can obviously pause to kind of read it. And essentially, she's doing two attacks at the same time. She does poison, she does slow, she does damage increase, she does block. And here are her awakenings. She's coming out on the 12th, Anora's coming out on the 27th, and they're both very good. So to kind of just summarize, Dahlia is more of a kind of I mean, they're both very weird. I'm not gonna say Dahlia is weirder. They're both very, very strange and very, very confusing to use. So I'm gonna kind of try to break it down where they'll be good, where they won't, and where I think if you're struggling in a certain area, then you should go for them. So first of all, Dahlia's very, very underrated. She's definitely getting downplayed a lot because of her weird range, her range being essentially in a straight line. But that's actually, in my opinion, not a bad thing. I don't think they're changing it. I think they just delayed her in general. I don't think they actually changed her range. I don't think they should have changed their range if they did. I know on test server she's not changed from what I've asked some of my test server friends, and she's still going to be very, very good. So, what a lot of people don't really understand about her range, which hot take, I think if you can't deal with her range, that's more of a you problem than a her problem. I think all it will do is cause people to have to think a little bit out of the box with some unique placements. But I think that's actually a good thing because by having those unique placements, you're going to be able to discover a lot of strategies you would never be able to do with anyone else. And the only people who have used Dahlia so far, since she's not on Forerunner yet, uh, is be- is the test server people. And no disrespect to them, I guarantee they haven't found as many uses as the whole player base would. Because it's what, 5, 10 people versus however many hundreds that actually play the game on a regular basis and will have Dahlia and be able to use her in every single area of the game. I think we're going to find a lot of really unique ways to use Dahlia that'll make her even better. And also, the way that the game kind of works is they kind of engineer characters for content in the future without actually having that content out. So I think she will get better over time with there. But currently speaking, just how the game is right now, because we can't really talk about hypotheticals, is is Dahlia good? Is she better than Anora? I'll answer the is she better question later. But is Dahlia going to be good? Yes, she will be. She's going to be good in a couple areas. So, one, Gear Raid 1, she's going to be probably the best AoE mage there. She might even be better than Comet, if not close. Maybe better than Boreas, if not close, due to his anti-heal. It depends. But if you're missing any kind of content that's AoE focused, like Gear Raid 1, Gear Raid 4, she's going to help you a ton. So, if you haven't beat 121 yet, you should pull for Dalia. Of course, this question is only covering if you only have enough for one of them. If you have enough for both, I highly recommend you go for both. I think this is the whole anniversary event banner is going to be like Anora and then something else alongside her. But at that point, you would know it's alongside her, so you could decide at that point. But I think you should go for both if you can. If you can't, though, the question is on your account. So, Dalia, I would pull for Dalia if you don't have 2 legendary AoE mages. If you don't have, and by legendary AoE mages, I mean 3 of them. Because there's only 3 in the conversation for being usable. Because who's talking about Zealous or Kriya? No one. So if you don't have at least one of Vierna, Comet, and Boreas, 100% go for Dalia. Don't go for Anora, go for Dalia. Because Dalia is going to help you more in that kind of area. If you're struggling with your AoE mages, then Dalia is going to help you a ton. Of course, Anora also is very AoE focused and will definitely help you out there too. I think Dalia is better at that kind of role. So it depends on your account if you have that. Personally, since I'm missing Comet, but I have Boreas and I have Vierna and I have Morrigan, I will be pulling for Dalia because I do think she will help my account a lot, even though I already have a bunch of AoE mages. But you know, if you have Comet, Boreas, Vierna, and all that stuff, you're less inclined to have to pull. Another thing is Dalia is going to be very good in Guild Boss too. The way she works with her range, how she essentially puts flowers all over the field to do damage to the boss. She's going to be really, really strong. I've kind of conferred with some test server people, and they do agree that Dalia will be good there and good in a lot of areas, so she will be very, very good. Nora, though, is a little bit of a harder one to explain because it's hard to think about where she'll be good. I heard she's going to be a very good AoE mage. If you need some sort of freezing, or if there's any freezing content in the future, which there probably will be, she will be amazing. Once again, summons are very cool. She's definitely the more fun of the two. And if you're just going for like vibes or whoever's more entertaining to use, Anora is better, in my opinion at least. She's very, very interesting. So she summons like a flying dragon, very cool, and she's decent, but there's a very glaring flaw in how she works, and that's that she's immune to most buffs and debuffs. So she cannot be Dolores buffed, she cannot be Invig buffed, but she also can't be debuffed, which is really interesting. So it limits her kind of usability in certain areas like Guild Boss, although you would never really use her in Guild Boss, and anything you would use Dolores in with her. But it kind of just frees up Dolores, and since she is 2 units in one, she's not going to be lacking that much damage. She's still going to be doing great, and it should be fine. So essentially, immune to buffs and weird range. There, pick one of the two evils, essentially. Personally, I think Anora will be good in probably Guild Boss 2 as well. She's probably going to be good in AoE content, just like Dalia, but it's hard for me to kind of visualize where she will be good because it's just a hard question to ask since she's so awkward, weird, and no one's tested her yet because she just got added to test server recently. I would test her if I could, but I can't. It's hard for me to give a definitive answer. I think Anora will be good in a couple areas. I'm sure people will find more uses for her, but I just can't visualize many areas that she will be good. She requires a bond skill to be better than she currently is, and all this stuff. It's a bit complicated. So my verdict overall is obviously it depends on your account. It depends on what you want, because ultimately you should go off of who you enjoy more based on how fun they are, if you like the design or anything like that. I think they both look great. They're obviously both trying to adhere to certain kind of desires from people and the devs to make money, and nothing wrong with that, but it's just a hard question. Personally, I think Dalia is better. Hot take, I think Dalia will be better. But that is too hypothetical. They're both hypothetical characters. It's hard to make a definitive answer because there is no content for them. But they're both very, very strong. So I would say Dalia is probably better. I would personally go for her over Anora, depending on your account. Once again, if you even have Comet at all, I would say you're less inclined to pull for Dalia, and therefore you could go for Anora and be completely fine. But once again, if you don't have any AoE mages, Dalia probably will be the better one for you. Dalia also, I think, has a better exclusive from what I've seen. I am not 100% sure, but it's something to take into account. I'm not 100% sure. Just go with your heart at the end of the day. But personally, I think Dalia is better. I talked to like Mortar Mike. I think he thinks that Dalia is better as well. And hot take, I think Anora is overhyped. I think Dalia is underrated. So just keep that in mind. Hope this perspective helps. I know it's not the most definitive, go for this hero. But at the end of the day, with these types of gacha games, it depends more on your account, how your account works out. It depends on your kind of hopes playing the game. It depends on what you want from it. It's different for everyone. And at the end of the day, I don't want to have a definitive answer for you guys because there shouldn't be a definitive answer in these games. Even if, like, let's just say there was a banner that had a Nye in it and then it had something like Hex. I would still say you could go for a Nye if you care about this thing. Obviously, that's more of a definitive answer because they're not closer. I just don't like giving definitive answers because I think it kind of undermines the whole point of these games, which is to have fun. To have fun the way you want to have fun. There's nothing wrong with picking what's seen as the quote unquote wrong choice. If you like Korea, go for Korea. I don't care. It's your game, it's your life, and it's your summons. So if you want to have me pull for you, I will have viewer summons on both Dalia and Anora, including my own summons, even though I don't have that many. As you can see, only 9,000 gems and very little rare summons. I'm still going to be doing viewer summons. I will link the Google form for the Dalia sign-up sheet down below. I will make the Anora one when we're closer to the Anora date. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. At the end of the day, just follow your heart. And I hope I kind of gave a little bit of perspective. Also, get me a test server, man. If the content creator people are watching this, get me a test server, please. I need it. I can't test these videos and make better videos because I'm limited by no test server. But yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and Destined signing out.